Hey y'all, Adam here from Century Concepts. The most common question that I hear people ask is, how much longer do I have to wait for my ERC refund? Well, what if I told you that there exists a free service sponsored by the IRS which can actually answer that question for you? The Taxpayer Advocate Service, abbreviated TAS, is an independent organization within the IRS that is dedicated to helping taxpayers resolve their problems with the agency. They provide a range of free services, including assistance with resolving disputes, navigating complex tax laws and regulations, and helping individuals who are experiencing financial hardship due to tax-related issues. One of the key benefits of working with the Taxpayer Advocate Service is that they can help you navigate the often confusing world of taxes and IRS regulations. They can also help you understand your rights as a taxpayer and ensure that your voice is heard in any disputes or negotiations with the agency. If you're struggling with tax-related issues, it's important to know that you have options. Whether you're dealing with debts owed to the IRS or other tax-related problems, working with the Taxpayer Advocate Service can help you get back on track and find a solution that works for you. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by your taxes or you need help navigating, IRS regulations, they're the ones you should call rather than going through a firm that'll charge you money for essentially the same service. If you're experiencing financial difficulties and you've already tried to resolve your tax problems through normal IRS channels, but for whatever reason you haven't been successful, or if you believe that an IRS procedure or policy is not working as it should, then you're definitely a prime candidate for the Taxpayer Advocate Service. They exist to help you negotiate with the IRS. And they're just a channel that you can use to essentially communicate your needs with the IRS in an effective and convenient manner. So one of the most integral roles that the TAS plays is assisting taxpayers who are unable to afford their taxes or debts owed to the IRS. They'll work with both the taxpayer and the IRS to create a payment plan that works for both parties. However, for today's video, we're going to be mainly focusing on the benefit that the Taxpayer Advocate Service can provide to those within the scope of the Employee Retention Tax Credit. The purpose of the Taxpayer Advocate Service in relation to the ERC is to provide guidance to those who have already filed their amended 941s and are looking for updates regarding the status of their ERC refund. The TAS is also available to assist taxpayers who are having difficulties claiming the credit, or for whatever reason have their ERC claims denied unfairly by the IRS. And there's potentially a lot of confusing paperwork that can be encountered after the filing of your amended 941. You got things like the Form 6042, Form 2645, Form 2644, and 418C. And the TAS can answer the questions that you have regarding those forms and really go beyond just doing that. They'll be able to access information related to your ERC claim, and they'll tell you what stage you're at within the process. Oftentimes, I'll hear that somebody has filed for the ERC, and they've been waiting for months and months and months with no word or update from the IRS. Well, the TAS can actually guide you throughout that process with regular updates, and they can really get the ball rolling for those who are experiencing delays or issues with their ERC filing. I really have to stress the fact that this service isn't provided entirely free of charge. And there are definitely firms out there who will provide you with the same service essentially, but they'll expect to be compensated for the work. You do not need to be a CPA to contact the Taxpayer Advocate Service. In fact, if you filed your amended 941 and you are growing impatient with the lack of communication between you and the IRS, then I strongly suggest giving the TAS a call at the end of this video. It's a painless process for the most part. There is a set of criteria for when a taxpayer is considered eligible to contact the TAS. One such qualifying circumstance is in the situation where the taxpayer has experienced something called a systemic burden. A systemic burden occurs when an IRS process, system, or procedure has failed to operate as intended, and as a result, the IRS has failed to timely respond to or resolve a taxpayer's issue. Typically, systemic burdens occur when the resolution of a taxpayer's problem or inquiry is delayed more than 30 days beyond the normal response time for that particular action. So, let's assume you filed your ERC and have heard nothing following that initial 30-day period. Well, I think it'd be fair to reach out to the TAS. They may be able to assist you, and they can hopefully guide you throughout the process. It doesn't hurt to call them, especially if you've been waiting all this time. It's important to note that TAS is not necessarily designed to provide immediate relief or expedite the refund process. Now, I have heard anecdotal stories of people waiting for months on end, sometimes up to a year after filing their amended 941s, and all throughout this time, they have not heard anything from the IRS. Well, after deciding to give the TAS a call, they coincidentally received their ERC refund within the next month. So, take that with a grain of salt. But at the end of the day, the role of the Taxpayer Advocate Service is to provide assistance and advocacy for taxpayers who are going through a tax-related dispute or hardship. Nothing more. Nevertheless, TAS can offer invaluable support to taxpayers in resolving their ERC-related problems, and their help can definitely provide some clarity. So, to obtain assistance from the TAS for an ERC-related matter, taxpayers can visit the TAS website at taxpayeradvocate.irs.gov, where they can find detailed information about the services provided by TAS, including the location of regional offices across the United States. Taxpayers can also call the TAS toll-free number at 877-777-4778. This operates from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. Additionally, taxpayers can complete Form 911, request for a Taxpayer Advocate Service assistance, and you can fax that or mail it to the nearest TAS office. Well, folks, that's all for today. The Taxpayer Advocate Service is a valuable resource for those who are stuck in what I call ERC purgatory. They can provide guidance and assistance throughout the ERC claims process, including support for filing procedures and dispute resolution. Taxpayers facing ERC-related issues should consider contacting the TAS to benefit from both their expertise and advocacy services. So I hope you all have a lovely day, and as always, see you next time.